Oh no, I'm late. I'm late. Here we go again. Oh my goodness, can you believe we have reached the end of the week once more? And of course we are coming towards the end of our 31 days of English. Welcome to day 25. Oh, hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Well, are you happy? I hope you are. I hope so. Here I am in my studio once again, and I'm still having my lunch. So this is actually my lunch. You can now see how I nourish myself before my live stream begins. So today I have a lovely sandwich with salmon and also butter and pepper inside. So there is some lovely salmon in the middle. So you can have a little sneak peep into my private world by having a look at what I eat. So are you interested in that? Does it interest you? So there is my lunch, half eaten. So when we say that something is half eaten, it means I haven't finished it. I have eaten half of it. So this is half eaten. Here we go. Yes, we are coming towards the end of October, but don't worry, there are still a few more days left before I say goodbye to October. So I hope you are happy today. In fact, you should be happy. Do you know why? Because it's Friday. Am I really just broadcasting to 80 people? Dear me. I got up at 8 o'clock this morning to do this. I'd been working since 8 o'clock this morning, and now I'm talking to 78 people. That's not many, is it? Please tell a friend, tell anyone, tell your neighbour, tell the person who lives down the road who you don't really like. Tell them all. I am with you every single day during October. Live English every day, Monday to Friday. No one else has ever done this. No one ever on YouTube has ever done a month of live lessons every day. I think I might be the first person to do it. But who cares? YouTube algorithms don't care. Clearly. Did you see a couple of days ago on the news? Apparently Google have developed the first quantum computer. So now they will be able to use their algorithms much quicker than before to make sure people don't see your videos. That's good news for all of us. So thank you very much, Google, once again, for making sure that no one gets to find out about my live streams or my lessons. It's really kind of you. Thank you very much. Outside. It's raining today. Unfortunately, it is raining outside. The rain is falling. It is a very dull and miserable day, but I can promise you now, I can promise you that I don't feel dull or miserable. I'm okay. Don't worry. In fact, I know what will cheer you up. Let's have a look at the birds, shall we? So here are the birds in my garden earlier today. Oh, very nice. So there, earlier today, the birds were all busy feeding. Now, at this time of year, there is very little for the birds to eat because many of the insects have disappeared. So the birds have all come back to my garden. They have returned. And there you can see a selection of birds. There is a greenfinch in the middle, also goldfinches, I think also maybe a couple of blue tits as well. So there, that was filmed this morning. However, right now, let's have a look what's happening now in the garden. So this is now. And as you can see, there isn't much going on. It's very quiet out there. I must point out that Mr. Steve is here today in the house. He won't be on the live stream. However, he is in the house. And today I was a little bit late because I was busy preparing Mr. Steve's food. So I had to make Mr. Steve something to eat because he's at home today. He's busy here in his office. So I had to make a sandwich, not only for me, but also for Mr. Steve as well. And that's the reason why I'm a little bit late today. I apologise so much. Before I go on, can I say happy birthday to my sister? It's my sister's birthday today. So happy birthday, Ali. I hope you will have a nice day. My sister, Alison, is having her birthday today. So happy birthday to my sister. It's your birthday. Yes. Today. It's your birthday. Hip, hip hooray. Talking about celebrations, let's have a look who is first on the live stream, shall we? On the live chat we have, oh, hello to Nasir. Well done. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. I give you a bow and a curtsy. There's no answer to that really, is there? Fabiana is here, or Fabiana. Nasir, hello once again. Hello to Cho. Rahul is here as well. Eric, Amit, Danilo. Hello, Danilo. Hello also to Luis Mendez. Nice to see you here today on my live stream. Hello also to Ouida and also Palmyra. Mika is here as well. Chun. Hello, Chun Kyong Chong. Where are you watching at the moment? I have a feeling you might be in the Far East. I think so. Andrew is here. Anna. Ramzanora. Also Atiaf. Hello, Atiaf. Nice to see you here today. Also Safia and Karen. Hello, Karen. When does it start? Do you mean my live stream? It has started already. Now, normally at the start of my live stream, I have to play some music so I can make sure that my equipment is working properly. So normally at the start of my live stream, you will see an image and also you will hear some music. That music. Now normally I have about 2 minutes at the start of the live stream to make sure that my equipment is working properly, because doing a live stream is very technical. It really is. Christina, how are you? It's a sunny day where you are, but here it is not. It is not a sunny day here. Farouk is here, also Marina. Sorry, oh yes, Marina. Marina. That is also a place where they keep boats. So you will often find boats in a marina. A place where boats are kept is a marina. Theo, hello Mr. Duncan. Because of you we learn English as a living organism where every single part counts. Many thanks. Thank you, Theo, for that. Very interesting. Very deep and profound for a Friday. I think so. Rosso is here. Hi, Mr. Duncan. Hi, everybody. Your sandwich looks delicious. Yes, it looks delicious. But if I leave it any longer in this hot studio, I think it will go very stale. So if something is stale, it means it has gone bad. Or with bread, it means it has gone hard. So you can't really eat it. So bread will go stale if you leave it out in the open air. So my sandwich is slowly going stale. Anna says, I am interested in daily life subjects. Well, I think so. Well, this is something I try to do on my live streams every day. I always try to take you into my life, the things I do every day. And quite often I will teach you some English at the same time. Isn't that good? Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal? Okay, that sounds good to me. A couple of words I want to show you now, and these are words that many English learners confuse with each other. The words are bored and boring. So bored is the feeling of having nothing to do. You feel as if you want to do something but you don't know what to do. You have a lot of spare time on your hands. So you feel bored. Of course, being bored can also be the effect of watching something that is not interesting, or something that is not interesting to watch or follow. It makes you feel bored. Then we have boring. If something is boring, then the thing is making you feel bored. So the feeling is bored. The thing is boring. I feel bored because of this boring lesson. This lesson is boring. I feel bored. So a lot of people confuse these two words. Quite often they will use this word when they want to say this word. So, I feel bored. Mr. Duncan, your lessons are never boring. I hope so. Another couple of words we can use are tedious. Something that is boring is tedious. You are watching something that is boring. Something is tedious. Also, laborious. If you are doing something that takes a long time to carry out, maybe a very slow and tedious job, the job is tedious. The job or the thing you have to do is laborious. It takes a long time to do, and you might describe it as a boring job or a boring task. Something that makes you feel bored is boring. It is tedious. It is laborious. So I hope that helps you there. Back to the live chat. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Thanks very much for teaching us. I am always watching your channel because we can watch the live stream on time. I hope so. I hope you don't mind joining me every day during October. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you. No one else is doing this. Not another person. No one else on YouTube is with you every single day in October. Fernando is here. Hello, Fernando. Belarusia. Belarusia is giving us more information about her mother. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that your mother is still not well. We will have to wait. So that is the latest from Belarusia concerning her mother. And once again, can I send you my best wishes to you and your family. Grace Chin is here. I live in Kuala Lumpur. I know Kuala Lumpur very well. I've been there a few times. I know Malaysia very well. I've been there many times, especially during the 1990s. I went to Malaysia a lot. Rosa says TGIF is used on Friday. Yes. We often say thank God or thank goodness it's Friday. So most people feel quite relieved and happy when Friday arrives because it means the weekend is about to begin. Don't forget, I am with you tomorrow, so you can see on Saturday I am with you at a slightly different time, 12 p.m. midday on Saturday, and then Sunday we return to the normal time of 2 p.m. UK time. However, this is something I mentioned yesterday. I'm not going to mention it again because it's very complicated and my brain might explode. So on Sunday, very early on Sunday morning, we will put our clocks back 1 hour. As British summertime ends and we go back to the old Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. Whew, I'm bored already with this subject. So what will happen is for some people, my live stream will appear 1 hour later. So if you normally watch me at 11 o'clock at night, you will find that I will actually appear at midnight. However, some people will also be turning their clocks back. So for you, there will be no difference, but it will feel as if my live stream is at a different time. However, on Sunday, it will still be 2 p.m. UK time. So whatever happens with our clocks, whatever happens, I will always be here at 2 p.m. UK time. If it's British summertime or Greenwich Mean Time. Wow. Well, I can't believe I've had to say all that. Do you know who I feel sorry for? I feel sorry for people who work in clock shops because they have to change all of the clocks that they have. Or maybe a person who has to look after all of the clocks in a clock museum. They have to go around and change all the clocks. They have to turn them back 1 hour. Apparently, in Buckingham Palace, they have over 100 clocks in Buckingham Palace, where the Queen lives. So imagine how long it takes to turn all of those clocks back. All of the Queen's servants. I don't think the Queen does it. I can't imagine the Queen getting up on a chair to change her clocks. I just don't see that happening, to be honest. I really don't. Rosa is here. Also Mika, Maria. In Sicily, it is awful, in fact. I'm at home because the schools are closed for red alert. Is that the weather? Is the weather that bad? Wow. So in the south of Italy and round Sicily, it sounds as if the weather is quite bad. Oh dear. Stay safe. If the weather is bad where you are, stay indoors and watch me. Is that a good idea? I'm not sure. Hello, Rosa. Also, Sweetness. Happy birthday to your sister. Yes, my sister. It's her birthday today. She is another year older. I won't say how old, because I can't, because she will come round and slap my face until it's cherry red. She really will. Hello, Theo. Happy many returns for Duncan's sister. Thank you very much. We are all making history with Mr. Duncan and his live stream every day during October. Can you believe it? Oh, it looks as if the birds have arrived. Oh, let's have a look quickly. Yes, there are some birds on the bird feeder. Can you see them? So this is now a live view in the garden. And yes, you can see some birds. Not many. I think most of them have already done their feeding. They've already been fed. So there they are. Would you like to see something really, really crazy and unusual? Okay, then, here we go then. Well, first of all, today we are talking about one particular subject. After 2:30, we are talking about sleep and dreams. And you know what I like to do? When I go to sleep at night, I like to imagine something nice. Something that makes me feel really comfortable and cosy in my bed. I like to count sheep. Yes. So today's big subject is sleep. And there you can see a little sheep having a sleep in my garden. And that was something I filmed this morning. Do you want to see something really crazy? Once again, this is all about sheep. And this is something I saw this morning from my bathroom window. Something very strange was going on at the back of my house. So yes, there were some sheep in the garden at the back of the house. Also, there were lots of birds flying around as well. You can see there are some crows. So those birds are crows. But can you see what they're doing? They are actually picking the flies off the sheep. And if you think that's strange, take a look at this. Watch this. So the magpie is actually going onto the sheep. It's climbing onto the sheep and it's actually picking the small insects off the sheep. But the strange thing is the sheep doesn't seem to mind. It seems to actually enjoy what is happening. So there you can see something that happened at the back of my house. I was so curious to find out what it was that I decided to set my camera up and film it. So there you can see a magpie doing something very unusual. It is picking the insects off the sheep. Oh, I think the sheep doesn't like it anymore. I think the sheep has had enough. It looks as if the sheep is trying to sleep, but the magpie keeps disturbing it. So isn't that unusual? What a strange thing to see in your garden or at the back of your house. So there is a magpie. I think he's about to fly away. Okay, Mr. Magpie, off you go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Something very unusual there. Hello to Atief. Hello also to Christina. The sheep is calm. It looks very strange. I agree with you. It does look rather unusual. I think so. Amit is here. How are you, Mr. Duncan? I'm okay. Not too bad, thank you. Louis says, I think Thank God It's Friday also comes from the series Peter Gunn. It's a song also from The Art of Noise. Yes, The Art of Noise. I know The Art of Noise very well. They were a combination of producers and musicians who were around in the early 1980s. So I know them very well. I remember a lot of their very strange songs. Speak John says, I am an English teacher. Hello. Hello to another English teacher. Speak John. I am an English teacher in Brazil. My city is Fortaleza and I love your classes. Big hug. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And good luck with your lessons. Mr. Mario is here watching in Sao Paulo, also Guadeloupe. Yes, we are talking all about sleep and dreams. Lots of words and expressions that are connected to this particular subject. That is what we are doing in a little while. Right now, we are going to take a short break because we are going to have a look at something a little different. Something different, we're going to have a look at an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. A lot of people ask about my full English lessons. There is a playlist. There are lots of video lessons on my YouTube channel. And now you are going to take a look at an excerpt from one of them right now. It would appear that more and more people are unable to concentrate for long periods of time due to them having short attention spans. Do you know someone who is snooty? Have you ever met a snooty person? The word snooty means to behave with an air of superiority. To be snobbish and arrogant is to be snooty. A snooty person believes they are better than others. Their view is that they have a better lifestyle than most other people. A person with money might behave in a snooty way. They look down on those who have less wealth or appear to live in a lower class than them. A snooty person tends to be arrogant and stuck up. We can describe a snooty person as a snob. This person behaves in a snobbish way. They have a high and mighty attitude. They are toffee-nosed, supercilious, pompous, haughty, conceited, and quite often arrogant. It's time to take a look at another buzzword. A buzzword is a sentence or word that is in common use during a certain time, or is seen as being popular. Today's buzzword is attention span. This phrase relates to the amount of time a person can concentrate on one thing. This can relate to a task or an activity. A person's attention span is measured by how long they can concentrate on doing one thing. We often talk about the short attention span of young people. The various attractions and distractions that exist nowadays has led to a belief that people are beginning to develop short attention spans. The advent of instant digital media and online streaming allows people to view many things within a short space of time. It would appear that these days people grow bored easily, as more choices means that they can swap and change what they are watching in a more convenient way. The term short attention span highlights the inability to concentrate on just one thing. It would appear that more and more people are unable to concentrate for long periods of time due to having short attention spans. It is inevitable that at some point in your working life you will have to answer to someone who is above you in status or rank. Most work environments have some sort of administrative hierarchy. The word hierarchy means chain of command or pecking order. From the lowly to the high up, the positions in the workplace tend to follow a typical pattern. From the unpaid intern right up to the senior management, somewhere in that chain you will be placed. More often than not, most senior management chains consist of supervisors and managers. Then, right at the top, there is the CEO, which stands for Chief Executive Officer. There are many ways of describing this person, both formally and informally. This person is the boss, the top man or top woman, the chief, the leader. Informal terms include the big man, the head honcho, the big cheese, the top brass. The boss or company owner might be described as a fat cat. This particular name is seen as being negative and derogatory, as it suggests that the boss is wealthy and very powerful. The bank is owned and run by a bunch of fat cats. And there it was, one of my full English lessons, a few excerpts from one of them. I hope you enjoyed that, and all of my lessons are available on my YouTube channel. As you can see, whilst that video was playing, I was eating a little bit more of my sandwich. So there is only a little piece left now. Will I get to eat this before the end of today's lesson? I don't know really, because I'm not psychic. I can't see the future. Who do you think I am? Uri Geller? Hello, Anna. I like so many types of pasta and spaghetti and macaroni. Oh, I believe it's a special day today. Isn't it a special day for people who like macaroni? Please tell me more about it. Business says fat cat. Yes, a fat cat. It is normally a negative word for the owner of a company or a large organisation. And quite often they are seen as being greedy and selfish and only interested in their own things. Hello also to Irene. Hello, Mr. Duncan and everyone. I am late. Don't worry, as long as you are here. Although it is a little bit wet outside. Shall we have a look? It's wet. It's miserable. And I suppose we could have Mr. Steve. Would you like to see Mr. Steve doing the puddle dance? Would you? Now, we can arrange that right now. So let's get Mr. Steve prepared outside in the garden, and he will show us his world-famous poncho dance. But of course, I'm not going to let Steve have all the fun, because now I am going to show you my puddle dance. I hope you enjoyed that. So Mr. Steve was demonstrating his poncho and I was showing you my puddle dance because it is a wet day here in the UK. But don't worry, I am here to chase those grey skies away. It's live English and I'm with you every day during October 2019. We are talking about a lovely subject today, sleep and dream. Words associated with this particular subject, and there are many, many words that we can describe sleep as. Many phrases, many words that we can use to describe going to sleep. Oh, there is a little sheep having dreams. I wonder when a sheep goes to sleep, does it count human beings? Because we often count sheep to help us get to sleep. So that's what I was thinking, really. That's the road I was going down with that joke. So when we talk about sleep, we can say that we fall asleep. Now, sleep is something we all need. They recommend that you should have at least 8 hours, between 7 and 8 hours sleep every night. And sleep is good for the body in many ways, especially this thing up here. Sleep is very good for your brain. If you stay awake for too long, it is very hard for your brain to cope. Lots of things start happening in your brain. The wiring and all of the circuits start breaking down. The signals go in the wrong direction. You become disorientated and confused. So you fall asleep. You need to sleep. However, there are lots of ways. There are many ways of describing sleep. For example, you nod off. Oh, I like that one. Nod off. If you nod off it means you fall asleep. So you are physically falling asleep. You nod off. So when you nod off, it means you fall asleep. You might say that it is the action of actually falling asleep. You nod off. Doze off. So the word doze can also mean sleep. You become tired. You become sleepy. You doze off. You drift off. So you might drift off to sleep. You slowly fall unconscious. To be unconscious is to be asleep. Like that. You drift off. You, I like this phrase. You go bye-byes. You go bye-byes. You fall asleep. You drift off. You nod off. You doze off. So there are some ways of describing sleep and also the action of falling asleep as well. Some more words that can be used to describe sleep. We can have a nap. So quite often when we say nap, it means a short sleep. So maybe you sleep for a short period of time. So you might go to bed for half an hour, or maybe 1 hour, or maybe just 10 minutes. You have a nap. Nap. So when we say nap, it means a short sleep. You go to sleep for a short period of time. And then the word doze. So you can doze. You fall asleep. Maybe you are sitting in your chair. Maybe you are still working, but perhaps you work at night and you might have a nap. You might have a doze. Doze. You have 40 winks. Oh, I like that word. I like that phrase very much. So if you have 40 winks, it means you have a short sleep. You have a rest for a short period of time. Quite often you will fall asleep. So when you have 40 winks, you have a short sleep. Hit the hay. If you hit the hay, it's the same thing. You go to sleep. You go to bed. You might feel tired and you may say to someone, "Oh, it's getting late. I think it's time for me to hit the hay. It's time for me to hit the hay. It's time to go to bed." Valentin asks a very interesting question. Do you remember Napster? Yes, I do. I remember Napster when it was illegal. Sometimes I would download tunes from Napster. So in the early days of the internet, there was a website called Napster, and it was very useful for getting pop music, movies, all sorts of things from. Of course, it was all illegal. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I might get arrested. The police might come to my house to take me away for illegal downloading. But yes, I do remember Napster in the early days. I think it's a bit like BitTorrent. So nowadays we have BitTorrent, don't we? So a lot of people will torrent something. Ooh, you see, I do know things that young people know. Back to our main subject. You have 40 winks. You hit the hay. You have a nap. You doze. Some more words that can be used. You zonk out. Oh, I like that one. Zonk out. So if you zonk, it means you fall asleep. Oh, you zonk out. you fall asleep. It's a great expression, that. You will often hear the word zonk or zonked in American English and British English as well. So a lot of people think that the word zonk or to be zonked is American English, but in fact it is used in both British English and American English. Zonk out. You go to the land of Nod. Oh, I like that one. So if you go to the land of Nod, you go off to sleep. That means you go off in your mind, you are unconscious, you go off to the land of Nod. We will often say that about a child. So maybe when a child is falling asleep, we will often say that they have gone to the land of Nod. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, you fall asleep. You fall asleep. So to fall asleep, you fall into sleep. You fall asleep. A person who is asleep is unconscious. All creatures need to sleep. Most animals need to sleep at some period of time. Some animals will sleep during the day. Some animals will sleep during the night. An animal that sleeps during the day and stays awake during the night is called nocturnal. So a nocturnal animal is an animal that is awake at night. For example, an owl or bat are nocturnal creatures. Some people, can you believe it? Some people are nocturnal. So people can also be nocturnal. Maybe you have to work at night. Maybe you work in a factory where you have to work during the night. Or maybe you are a security guard in a factory, so you have to work during the night to keep an eye, to guard the factory. So even people can be nocturnal. They stay awake during the night. Some more words to describe sleeping. You can snooze. Oh, I like that word. So again, snooze means a short sleep. Short, brief. Just for a short moment of time, you have a sleep. So you will snooze. Quite often, maybe in your bedroom, next to your bed, you will have an alarm clock. Maybe when the alarm rings, beep, 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 you will hit the snooze button. So quite often, an alarm clock will have a snooze button, which allows you to continue sleeping for a short period of time, normally 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So to have a snooze is to have a short sleep for a short period of time. Oh, I like this one. Cat nap. So if you have a cat nap, again, it is very similar to snooze. If you have a cat nap, it means you sleep for a short period of time. So you have a cat nap. You sleep for a short period. In the afternoon, now this is something that I didn't used to do, but nowadays I do. In the afternoon, I always like to have a little cat nap in the afternoon. So quite often I will go to bed, not in bed, but on the bed, and I will have a little sleep. I will have a cat nap. I like that. I like that expression. Also, you can slumber. Slumber. If you slumber, it means you sleep. You are actually in the process of sleeping. You are unconscious. We talk about a person's slumber, their moment of rest, their sleeping period, their slumber. Drowse. Now, this is a very interesting word. I'm going to have a look at this word a little closer. So, drowse can mean to be sleepy or to slowly fall asleep, but also we can also drowse a person. We can make them feel drowsy. So maybe you are doing something that makes a person feel bored or sleepy. So a person might drowse. They will go into a light sleep. So they won't fall asleep completely. They will just drowse off. Or a person might feel drowsy. So when you are drowsy, you are feeling sleepy. You are feeling drowsy. Another expression to mean sleep, you can get your head down. So when you get your head down, it means you lie on the bed. So your head will be on the pillow or whatever it is you rest your head on. You get your head down. So this is another way of expressing sleep. I need to get my head down for half an hour. It means I need to have a sleep. You get your head down. You, bing, hit the sack. If you hit the sack, it means you, again, get on the bed, you rest your head, and you hit the sack. So you might say, oh, I'm feeling so tired. Oh, I really need to hit the sack. If you hit the sack, it means you go to bed or you go to sleep. I think all of this talk of sleep is sending a lot of people to sleep because it's very late. So in some parts of the world at the moment, it is very late. So maybe you are starting to fall asleep. Another way to describe sleeping is to get some Zeds. Oh, Mr. Duncan, we've never heard this one before. If you get some Zeds, or of course, if you are American, you will say get some Z's, because the letter Z is Z in British English, but in British English we say Z, you see, not Z. So you get some Z's. You get some Z's. And there you can see lots of them. So when we write the sound of sleeping, so when we write it down, we will write it like this. So this is what it looks like when a person is sleeping, when we have to write it down. So a person is sleeping. They are fast asleep. They need to get some Z's or Z's. I know people always complain about that. They say, Mr. Duncan, why do you keep saying Z? It isn't Z, it's Z. But in British English we say Z. Pedro says, I am asleep right now. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Pedro. I'm sorry to make you feel so bored there. Here we go with the way a person sleeps. So maybe a person is a light sleeper. If you are a light sleeper, it means you don't sleep deeply. So when we say deep sleep, it means you are very much unconscious. You are really asleep. You are fast asleep. You are so sleepy. You are so unconscious. However, if a person is a light sleeper, it means that they don't sleep deeply. It means they are easily disturbed. So the slightest sound or noise around them will wake them up. They are a light sleeper. So a person who is a light sleeper, they sleep lightly. They don't go to sleep deeply. Their sleep is not deep because they are a light sleeper. So some people really do suffer from being a light sleeper. So if you are a light sleeper, you will often find that you can't get to sleep properly, or maybe you will have sleep, but it won't feel as if you've had sleep. There we go. Light sleeper. A person who is a light sleeper is a person who doesn't sleep deeply. They are not completely unconscious. The opposite of that is heavy sleeper. So if a person is a heavy sleeper, if a person can be described as a heavy sleeper, it means that they sleep very well. They have a deep sleep. They are completely unconscious. They are a heavy sleeper. They sleep deeply. They stay asleep. It is very hard to disturb or wake up a heavy sleeper. So some people are heavy sleepers, whilst other people are light sleepers. A light sleeper easily wakes up. A heavy sleeper is very hard to wake up. Sleep is important. However, there are certain people who cannot get to sleep. Unfortunately, they stay sleepless or they are easily disturbed. So if you are sleepless, it means you can't get to sleep. Unfortunately, you can't get to sleep. You are sleepless. You are restless. You can't relax. So we say that you have a sleepless night. You are easily disturbed. You are sleepless. You have a sleepless night. You are easily disturbed. Maybe your neighbour has a dog that keeps barking at night. Oh dear. I was having a lovely sleep then, until my neighbour's dog started barking. So a person can be sleepless, or they can be easily disturbed by certain things. A person who has difficulty sleeping, or maybe they have a condition, something wrong with their brain, or something they can't control, so a person might not be able to get to sleep physically. This is something that can happen to many people. We can say that you are an insomniac. So when we say insomniac, it is a person who cannot sleep. So the insomniac is the person who can't sleep. They suffer from insomnia. So insomnia is the disorder that means you cannot sleep. You feel awake. You feel restless. Maybe your mind won't stop working. Maybe you keep thinking about all sorts of things. You suffer from insomnia. You are an insomniac. So there are many people who suffer from this. And quite often, if you have stress or anxiety, quite often you will also have insomnia as well. It is quite often a side effect of certain illnesses that affect the brain. Insomnia. You are an insomniac. You can't get to sleep. There is another very interesting disorder, something that many people suffer from, and some people don't even realise that they have it. It is this: sleep apnea. And this is something you may have heard of or may not have heard of. Sleep apnea. Now this is a very interesting medical term that means a person who stops breathing. So they are breathing normally and then suddenly they stop breathing. They don't hold their breath. They have actually stopped breathing. Their automatic reflex for a few moments stops. So when you're asleep, quite often you will breathe normally in your sleep. It is one of the things that is controlled by your brain stem. So that will always keep your heart beating and also your lungs drawing in air. So sleep apnea is when your lungs stop doing that. They stop working for a few moments. And then you might suddenly wake up like that. So quite often sleep apnea is something that affects many people. So a person will stop breathing whilst they're asleep, and then they will suddenly wake up. And the reason why they wake up is because your body is starting to drown in carbon dioxide. So all of the carbon dioxide is building up in your blood. So your body reacts to that. It's almost as if you're drowning, in fact. So sleep apnea is the reflex after your breathing has stopped at night. A lot of people suffer from this. Many people do, and they don't even realise it. In fact, I think that I have a little bit of sleep apnea as well. Neo Zero says, you have spelt it wrong. No, I haven't. I have not spelt this word wrong. That is how you spell the word. Naughty, naughty. So you can spell it in other ways as well. So you can leave out the O. However, in British English, this is the spelling. In American English, they will leave out the O. So actually, this is the correct spelling. You thought you got me there, didn't you? Yes, I know what is going on there. Christina says, I was on holiday with a friend of mine and realised that he suffered from sleep apnea. My vacation was a nightmare. There are many things that can happen whilst you're asleep. Yes, many things. I made myself laugh then. You can talk in your sleep. Oh, not now, darling. Oh, no, I don't want to. No, don't tell the wife. Oh, no, don't tell the wife. She'll be so angry if she finds out. Oh, no, don't tell the wife that we're seeing each other. No, if the wife finds out, she'll kill me. Oh. Sometimes talking in your sleep can get you in a lot of hot water, a lot of trouble. Mr. Mario is going. Bye-bye, Mr. Mario. I think Mr. Mario wants to have a sleep. See you later. So there are many things you can do whilst you're asleep. You might sleepwalk. Some people move around whilst they're still unconscious. So it can happen. Some people have night terrors. Maybe they have a horrible dream or nightmare and they wake up suddenly screaming and shouting. We call those night terrors. So when we say night terror, we mean a nightmare that you wake up from in a panic. Theo says you pronounce apnea correctly because it is a Greek word that means without air. Yes, that's it. Thank you, Theo. So apnea means lack of air. If you stop breathing, suddenly your body has no air going into it. And as we all know, your body needs oxygen to survive. Or else you will turn purple and then blue and then white. Thank you, Berlim. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. It's almost time for me to go. Can you believe it already? And out of the window this morning, I saw some lovely sights. Just before we go, let's remind ourselves that it is still autumn. There it is. So that is a tree in my front garden. And you can see a lot of the leaves now have become red and golden, and they look lovely at the moment. So there you can see one of the sights. Let's have a look at another one. And there is another sight outside my house this morning. So even though it's raining, it still looks nice and autumnal. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson. I really do. If you don't like it, well, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what I can do, really. You can get in touch with me before I go, Facebook and also email if you want. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I've been doing this for many years, but over those years, YouTube has made a lot of changes. So many people find it very difficult to get their live streams and their videos watched nowadays because of the YouTube algorithms. So if you want to beat the algorithms, I suggest you like and also subscribe. Like and subscribe, please. That's very nice. And as you know, I do everything for free. If you want to make a donation, you are more than welcome to do so. There is the address for all of your donations. If you want to make a donation, because I do all of this for free. It costs nothing to you. Thank you very much, Pacho. It's very nice to see you here today. It's very lovely to see all of you here today, in fact. I love the red leaves. Yes, the leaves are looking rather nice. We will have one last look outside. There are just 1 or 2 birds on the bird feeder. There they are, looking very desperate at the moment. The birds appear to be very desperate right now because there isn't much food around as winter approaches. Thank you very much for your lovely messages. I'm going now. I'm back tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow I am back on Saturday. So tomorrow is Saturday, and don't forget the time is different, 12 p.m, just after midday. So there it is. You can see the time right there. There it is. Beep, 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 beep. Saturday, 12 p.m. UK time. And there it is. I will let you go because it's time for me to go. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks, Rolfie, for your lovely message there. Thank you so much, Mr. Duncan, for another amazing live stream. It was very useful. I hope so. I hope that this is never boring. I hope you never feel bored by my English lessons. So whatever YouTube thinks, whatever the YouTube algorithms think, it is out of my control. So I do thank you very much for your loyalty and your viewership. See you tomorrow. And of course, you know what's coming next. Before I have a little dance, and I am going to finish my sandwich as well. You know what's coming next, of course. Ta-ta for now.